awkward, dude. Anyway, yeah, so I still am super uncomfortable with making videos and stuff, so just bear with me, okay? Let's turn this on. This video is going to be about how to achieve your dreams. And there are many different ways. Hey, buddy. There are many different ways to do this. But the best things to do is start off by setting a goal or small goals. It's a lot easier to do that with small goals. But if you're going to go for long-term big goals, you really have to dedicate your time to things like this. You really have to be able to schedule out when you're going to be able to work on this or on these goals. Because, yes, most people work around 8 hours a day, and then you still have to sleep like 6 to 8 hours, and you eat usually like what, 2 to 3 times a day, and that's going to take up another hour of your day. And then if you work, you have to like travel around, you have to be in your car, and if you go to the gym, that's like another hour, another 2 hours. I don't know how long you work out at the gym for, but you know, some people do however long they want. So that still leaves you with around like 4 to 5 hours to work on whatever your goals are, right? So with those 4 to 5 hours or 6 hours, however long you may end up having, you really have to focus. You have to realize that these goals are going to be important to you, and they should be important to you. So you have to just put your mind to it, right? You just have to give up stuff, and that's going to be the next part. You have to be willing to sacrifice things, such as if you don't have enough time, you're going to have to sacrifice sleep. You're going to have to sacrifice eating sometimes. Like, you're going to be working so hard, you're going to be like, oh crap, dude, like I totally lost track of time. I didn't even eat today, or I didn't even eat lunch or dinner or whatever, you know? Like, you may end up not eating at all, or maybe only one time a day, but it's something that's gonna end up happening. Or you probably will end up sacrificing your weekends, or like every single weekend, you know? That way you can get work done. You won't be able to watch Netflix as much as you used to. You're not going to be able to watch YouTube videos or play Fortnite or play League of Legends or play Apex Legends or whatever the hell you're playing, you know? It's just something you have to be willing to sacrifice. That way you can grow as a person. This may suck really bad for pretty much everyone, but you are going to end up having to sacrifice time with certain people, especially like friends. You're gonna have to understand that you're gonna miss out on a lot of things because you're working on you and you're working for your future. So it's not that you don't want to be friends with these people, but you have to understand that you're gonna have to give up time so you can work on you. And your success should be like enough for them to understand that you didn't do it because you hate them, or because you know, you just didn't want to do it. You're working on you, right? That's not even an excuse, but that's just what you have to do. And then you have to realize that hopefully this goal or whatever is something you are passionate about. You have to, like I said, you have to be able to give up things for this goal or for this passion. And you have to understand that you're going to go through a lot of shit. Like, literally a lot of shit. You're going to cry. You're going to bleed. You're going to sweat. Literally, it's going to be pain. Because if everything was easy, then what's the point of even doing it, right? So it has to be painful. It has to be like grit and grind, and it has to feel like shit, because it's just how life is. You have to understand that it's not going to be short term most of the time. Like, you're not going to be successful overnight. You have to work on it. You have to work for it for a long time. Like I've seen a lot of or watched a bunch of YouTube videos and stuff like that. There are stories in which people didn't even taste any success until like 5, 6 years later. And that's time you have to be willing to sacrifice, you know? Like you have to be willing to grind that long and persevere through all the dog shit, and you know, especially if you're making content or videos and stuff like that, you have to be willing to have less than 100 views for like the first 2 3 years, you know, because it's not gonna grow instantly unless you get lucky and you know pop off. A lot of it is timing as well, so you just have to understand that. Another thing is progression. Like I said, it kind of goes with the last part. Don't be scared because you're not getting many views or whatever, especially if you're making content. Like I said, if you're not getting a lot of views, a lot of likes and comments and stuff like that, dude, even me doing this kind of stuff, I'm still at nothing, and I'm okay with that because I'm still learning. This is the process, right? Like Gary Vee says, because I watch a lot of Gary Vee. It's the process, you know. You gotta love the process, not the end. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. That's what I'm learning to love the process. You have to understand that this progression is going to take a lot of time. You have to understand that you're training for a marathon, like Gary Vee says. You're not sprinting. Like sure, the sprinting can help, but you have to understand it's a marathon, and you're going to be doing this 5, 10, 15, 20 years, especially if it's something you are passionate about. You're going to be doing this forever, or you could be doing it forever, you know? Life is a lot longer than you think it is. You may think that it's a piece of shit right now, but look at yourself 6 months ago, or a year ago, or 2 years ago, or, however far back you want to go. You wouldn't be who you are if you didn't take that time to become who you are right now, right? So you have to be willing to sacrifice the things you love doing now to do bigger and better things that you will eventually love, right? Especially during this time, it's going to help you hone your skills. It's going to help you become better. You're going to master these things. You're not going to just half-ass everything. And this time is used for experience. You can fail. You can mess around. You can, eat the shit, like Gary Vee says. You got to be willing to eat the shit. Another thing is that people are going to judge you no matter what. Like, no matter if you're doing good or if you're doing bad, you shouldn't take other people's opinions into account, like, to the extreme where it affects you and your daily life. You need to be willing to understand that you're doing this for you, right? So everyone else's opinion shouldn't matter as much or at all, because it's you. You're doing it for you, right? So your opinion should only matter, or should matter the most. You have to understand that you aren't living life for other people. You're doing it for you, right? The super cliche thing that everyone always says. You are the main character of your own life, right? So you have to take into account that you are living it, you are putting in the work, you're suffering, you're crying every day, you're bleeding for this. This is something you want to fucking do, right? So you got to do it. One day it'll all be worth it because you've put in all the time, all the effort, all the work, and you're breaking your limits every single day because you're doing something that you're not comfortable with. Especially like this stuff for me right now. This is super awkward for me still. Why do you think I'm moving around so much and not directly looking into the camera like a lot of people do? That's why I kind of have my camera angled to the side, because I'm still not comfortable with this. But once you get working and it starts going, everything's going to end up flowing really well. You won't have to worry so much because it's going to feel natural. It's going to end up feeling natural, because it's a habit. It's things you've been working on, you've been doing. Another thing is you have to understand that you are going to eat shit. You are going to fail a lot, but you have to understand that it's adaptation. You have to adapt to the next thing or to the bigger picture. right? Every little thing isn't going to go right all the time. So you just have to keep working on it. You have to understand that you are going to suck at a lot of these things, but you will get better because with experience and time, you should get better, right? Especially if you're going to push yourself to get better. You have to understand that you can't control anything other than yourself. You can't control how other people perceive you, how they behave towards you. You can only control who you are. So by understanding that you control who you are, you control your behaviors, right? And how you think. Because you want to be successful, you have to be willing to sacrifice these other things. Those are behaviors in which you're gonna have to, execute on so you can reach these goals. You have to be able to understand that you can't expect much from other people, or you shouldn't expect anything from other people. That way you won't be disappointed and you won't feel bad if you posted that video on Facebook and none of your family members or your friends watched the video or liked it or commented on it or shared it, because you didn't expect it. You didn't care. But if they ended up doing it, you're like, oh yeah, nice, that's awesome. You have to understand that you can't really expect much out of yourself either, even though this is a goal that you love. You just have to be willing to wait, because it's the process that makes you better. It's not achieving $1 million. Like, yeah, $1 million is nice, but like that one super old quote that everyone uses too: you can give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, then he'll eat for forever, And that's the process in which you have to understand that you're gonna end up going through. Work hard, do all this dog shit, and yeah, you'll get there, dude. All right.